Moments with God, a time of reflection for every day.
May 1st, a special gift. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Matthew 25:15. On June 15, 1957, a car fresh from the factory was entombed in a concrete chamber beneath the courthouse grounds in Tulsa. After some time, when the car was buried 50 years old, and the city was celebrating the centennial of the creation of the state of Oklahoma, it was decided to take the car out to the public. To everyone's surprise, small water leaks in the chamber where the automobile was for years caused rust, even though it had a concrete chamber that protected it. What was once a beautiful automobile had become a completely piece of junk. There is not a single follower of Christ who does not have a peculiar gift for the use of which he is not responsible before God. The word talent comes from the Latin talentum, which was the name given to a gold coin. I like to think that when God created us, he gave us a gift. Those gold coins, which are actually abilities to do things. The parable of the man who gave his goods or talents to his servants has a personal application for every man. In the same way that in the parable, God has provided each of us with different capacities, which can be very useful in serving him. Your obligation and responsibility are in proportion to the talents that God has given you. All of us, absolutely all of us, have been touched by God and have talents that is part of the search for meaning in life. It is necessary to develop them by putting them at the service of others, for our growth and above all, to glorify God. Those who have been blessed with superior talents should not despise the value of the service of those who are less gifted than themselves. The smallest talent is a God-given talent. A single talent that is used diligently with the blessing of God will be doubled, and the 2 employees in the service of Christ will become 4, and thus the humblest instrument can increase its power and usefulness. God has entrusted men with talents, an intellect where ideas originate, a heart to be the seat of his throne, the affections to flow as blessings to others, a conscience to convince of sin. Each has received something from the Master, and each must do his part to meet the needs of God's work. By leaving our talents unused, like the car in history, that had great value at the beginning, then when it was dug up, there was nothing. It was only something useless. Perhaps your reality has led you to think that you have no talent. Maybe you've received so many negative messages about your lack of abilities, or maybe you've convinced yourself that you don't have any talent. But that is not a biblical concept. God gives us talents to all so that we can use them in his work. And the fact that others do not know how to value them does not mean that we do not have them. Now we have to think, Are we using the talents that God has given us? Or have we simply buried them there, rusty, without using them? Each one is responsible for using what God has given us. Each one has to make their talents grow and use them for the cause of the Lord. Each one of us must use what we have, and we are to preach the salvation of God. Today is a good time for us to use the talents that God has given us, and only then can they be multiplied. Amen.
Thank you for listening to this audio. We invite you to share with your contacts and visit the website BibleWell.com.